I've always wanted to try raised bed gardening, but I started as a container gardener, and for most of my gardening life, I've been a container gardener. But that all changes today. Well, look what just got here. Here I've got 3 birdies raised beds. I got 2 of these 8-in-1s and 1 short round in the back. And whenever I do research on how to fill a raised bed, the topic of cost always comes up. Soil can be surprisingly expensive, and this is a lot of volume to fill with expensive soil. So I'm going to be trying to save as much money as I can when I fill these 3 beds. So today I won't be going over the best possible way to fill one of these raised beds, but instead going over what I think is the best and the most cost-effective way for me to fill these 3 beds. And at the end of the video, I'm going to break down the cost of filling just one of these 8-in-1s. So let's get started. Alright, now I've already gone ahead and filled this bed with a layer of cardboard and just some leftover food scraps, any other organic matter I could have found that's a free source of organic material around the yard. Now usually you would take some sticks, some logs if you have them, and fill up the bottom of this bed, you know, to really bulk out the space and you don't have to spend as much on soil. But that brings me to my first amendment. First step, mulch. Now mulch is going to be a great base and a good substitute for that hugelkultur method, because we're adding some dense woody matter to the bottom of the bed. It's going to stop weeds from coming up, and eventually it's going to break down into some very nutritious humus for the plants to feed off of. So let's see how many bags it takes to get a nice bottom fill on this bed. Now this is virgin cedar, so it's got no dyes, no additives, very nice organic material for a raised bed. Next step, cheap potting soil. Now, there's a few reasons I'm using potting soil in a raised bed. Well, I mean, raised beds are just really big pots, let's be real. But this has a good base level of nutrition, and it's made of mostly peat moss, which will help keep the moisture levels in the bed good. And honestly, it's gonna help bulk out this bed a lot, so let's get started. I'm gonna really try not to mix in the wood chip material with this potting mix. It's usually not the best idea to mix in wood chips, but if I get a little bit on this bottom middle layer of the bed, that's okay. Alright, I think that'll be good enough for this next top layer. I'm actually burning through my soils quicker than I thought I was going to be. But that's what this video is for me to learn and for you guys to learn from me. So, on to the third step. Alright, so for the top dress, I'm going to be doing a mixture of different soil mediums. I'm going to be doing compost for most of it. And I'm going to add some topsoil and some peat humus just to kind of fill it up. And this is totally optional, but I'm going to be adding some granular fertilizer to this stage just because that's what I have this little bit left, and that's what I personally want to do, but I'm not going to include it in the final cost of the build because you don't necessarily need it. So let's get started. we did it. Now that took way more stuff than I thought it would. I pretty much exhausted all of my bags of this glacial base soil. I only got 2 bags left of that potting mix. I honestly could have, now that I think about it, added more mulch, but you know, that's a lesson learned for this bed. So let's go inside, let's calculate the total. Probably gonna be way more than I thought. But in the meantime, I gotta go to the hardware store. Luckily this stuff's cheap. Alright guys, the math is in. It's a few days later, I didn't have time to do it right away, but I have each price for each type of amendment broken down right here. So, 3 bags of mulch total. Around $5 a bag, cost me $16 total. 5 bags of the potting soil. That was the most expensive part by far, totaling up to $56. Then we got the compost, the peat, and the topsoil. At $23 worth of compost, $10 worth of topsoil, and about $5 worth of peat. And adding all of that together, we come up to a grand total of $119.88, so about $120, which is around what I expected to pay for this raised bed. Now I definitely could have cut this cost a little bit by adding logs if I had them, or more mulch just to bulk out the bed more, or I could have ordered my soil in bulk, but I just wanted to do everything in a big box setting just to kind of see how much that would be priced out. Alright, now we'll go to Past Me, who's finishing up the bed right now. That is one raised bed filled. Hopefully it wasn't too expensive. I haven't, in real time, I haven't gone and calculated the costs just yet, but hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. And I got 2 more beds to fill, so happy gardening. See you later.